All right, so now we're going to go over some best practices for creating a mission and vision statement for your organization. Now, there's a lot of different approaches that you can take to creating a mission and vision statement, but how we're going to go over this, we'll go over both individually, and then I'll show you some examples of other organizations' mission and vision statements so you can get an idea on how to create yours. So, first and foremost, why do you need them? Well, in short, it helps inspire people and guides decisions. As we've discussed before in the strategic planning process video, that everything you do starts with the vision of your organization. Now, if you're a mission-based organization, then everything you do is guided by your mission, by your purpose. So there's two reasons. One, vision, set direction, and two, inspire people. When people see your mission and see your vision, they should be inspired to want to do business with you, to join, or to just learn more and support. And it's a really useful tool if created well to get people to buy into your vision, buy into your plan, and buy into your future. So let's get right into it. When we talk about vision, what is a vision of an organization? Well, it's basically where do we want to be at some point in the future? That's pretty much it. Where are we going? What does it look like? So a way to think about it is, where are we going? Why should we go there? And what is winning? So where are we going? Why should we go there? And what is winning? And what is winning is one of those questions that people don't often ask, but it's really, really important into creating something that is achievable. And so there doesn't necessarily need to be a timeline on it, but it has to be at a long-term big picture. A way to think about that what is winning question is, if success was a place, how would we know if we got there? If success was a place, how would we know if we got there? So when you work on your vision with your team, figuring out what that success place is increasingly important. So now, what's another way to actually craft this tangibly? And obviously, if you're a smaller organization, you might be doing this yourself or with a few other people. But you probably would have gotten inputs from your employees and inputs from your management team as to the desired direction of the organization. And now you're going to sit together and say, okay, what does it really look like? So picture you hopped in a time machine and you got to a point in the future and everything was different. Maybe it's 5 years down the road, maybe it's 10 years down the road, maybe it's 15, 20, 25, 50 years down the road. What do things look like around you? So if you're in an organization, what do your operations look like? What do your people look like? What do your clients look like? Picture it in as vivid detail as possible because it'll help you bring concreteness and realness to the vision that you're trying to create. If it's too loose, then you might get astray from what you're actually trying to achieve. So do your best to be as descriptive as possible. And then, of course, getting alignment with your organization and figuring out what that means for everybody and then crafting something that everybody can get on board with is the second part of that. Another way to look at this is, let's say you're creating a blueprint for your house. You don't want to sort of be like, oh, the house or the door is going to go somewhere around here and we might put the kitchen here-ish. It's be as deliberate and as thoughtful as possible with your vision, and it will guide everything you do as part of your strategic planning process. Because once you realize where you're going, then you're going to take actions that are in line with that future, and you're not going to do everything else. And it's going to save you time, money, and resources guaranteed. So I'm going to just go right quick into internal versus external facing mission and vision statements. So in the examples that I'm going to show below, many of the vision statements are extremely short, and as well as the mission statements. They're concrete, they're easy to explain in the length of a tweet, so to speak, but they aren't as vivid as what I'm explaining right now. The reason that you could do both is that if you're trying to explain to people internally, you might need to communicate more and really paint that picture for them. And it's really important for everybody in your organization to know what that future looks like so they can vision it and move forward. Whereas if you're doing something external facing, it can be a quick summary that people can understand and basically say, get on board very, very quickly. It's less important for them to know the details as it is for the people inside your organization. So you can actually create 2 mission and 2 vision statements, although it's not required. The important part is that people in your organization can understand where you're going and understand it in great detail. Whereas people externally, they just need to be able to realize it, get a high level overview so they can get on board with it. In other words, summarize for impact. If you're trying to get impact externally, then definitely be concise. And concise is one of the ways you can definitely make this plan, this process more effective. So now we're going to talk about creating a mission. And the same thing with the mission is that you want to be able to tell people, guide them, what are we doing, how are we doing it? Okay, so we know where we want to go, we know where our vision is. Now, what are we going to do to get there? So another way to look at it is like a purpose statement. So how are we going to get there? Who do we do it for? And who is our customer? Who do we do what we do for? What is our purpose? Who is our customer? And what do we do differently than others? Okay? So again, just to make sure, how are we going to get to where we're going? Who do we do it for? And what makes us different? If you can craft that in a mission statement, then you're successful. Okay? So I'll give you just a quick example of a mission statement here. So this is Best Buy's mission statement. Now, these are also product values, but basically they're saying expert service, unbeatable price, and here's what they do. They support your products, they can help you choose, and they do all of these things. So this isn't necessarily a mission statement, but it acts as a way for people to understand how they help them. I haven't included their vision statement in this point because there'll be something about being world-class electronic retailer or something like that. But just get an idea of how different ways you can craft your mission, your purpose statement, so that other people can get on board and understand it. So the next example is from an ESL school internationally. So their vision is to be a world-class knowledge institution in continuous pursuit of innovation and enterprise. And then they have different missions, the way they're going to get there. So meet stakeholder expectations, promote high-quality research, gain international recognition and accreditations, build strong corporate connections, and provide academic, professional, and civic experience. This might not be the best crafted mission and vision statement, but it gives you an idea of how to frame what you're communicating in different ways than just text. What's really important when you're crafting your mission and vision statement is understand that you need to be flexible. They're going to change over time as your organization changes over time. You might decide that your customers are different. You might decide that your purpose is different. You might realize that you've actually accomplished your vision and it's time to create a new, further looking vision. An example that comes to mind is Blockbuster. Blockbuster did not change their mission. They did not change their purpose. And in the process, they are now no longer in business. And as trends move quickly, as faster and faster, it's really important to be aware of why you're in business and who you do it for. And you might find that your target market changes over time or something might change. And if you get stuck in your old business model and stuck in your old purpose, then you're going to be in trouble from an organization perspective. Another piece to remember is that this all goes together. Everything you do in your organization is guided by your vision, is guided by your future. Your mission is the purpose, how you get there. And that is going to be the true north, the guiding star for your whole organization. So crafting a good mission statement and crafting a good vision statement is imperative to organizational success. So now we're going to go in some real life examples. So here's IKEA's mission statement and vision statement. So at IKEA, our vision is to create a better everyday life for many people. Our business idea supports the vision of offering a wide range of well-designed, functional home furnishing products at prices so low that as many people as possible will be able to afford them. So it's clear what they do. They're trying to basically get their furniture, not from a sales perspective, say we can sell it to everybody, as that we want to approach providing furniture as affordably and as accessibly as possible. So when you see that, you realize, oh yeah, I want to get with that company. I understand why I'm coming to work. I understand everything that we do helps make furniture, high quality furniture, functional furniture, and that's well designed, that's accessible to everybody. So Teach for America. One day, all children in this nation will have the opportunity to attain an excellent education. It's inspiring, right? Why wouldn't you want to get behind getting all children in America to have an excellent education? So their purpose is to do only that. Our mission is to enlist, develop, and mobilize as many people in our nation's most promising future leaders and grow and strengthen the movement for educational equity and excellence. That's how they do it. They have the vision, their future, that they might not ever achieve, but that's what they're aiming for. And then their purpose, how they do it, is they enlist, develop, and mobilize as many of our nation's most promising future leaders to grow and strengthen the movement for educational equity and excellence. And then different people will include, your choice, of course, to include part of your values as part of your mission statement, or a deeper dive into how you do it. So how do they accomplish their mission? They recruit remarkable and diverse individuals to become teachers in low-income communities. They commit to teach for 2 years and are hired by our partner public schools across the country. During these 2 years, they are called core members. So now you get a better sense of who their target customer is, who they actually serve, and again, whether they buy something or not, they're a customer, and who do you do it for and how do they do it. We train and support core members in the practices of great teachers and leaders. With hard work, perseverance, and strong partnerships with the students, families, and communities, core members can dramatically increase the opportunities available to their students in school and life. So here we have one stakeholder and one customer being the core leaders, core members. And then here you notice that they actually include students, families, and communities as an additional customer, an additional stakeholder. So just because you might have one core customer, but then you also realize that what you do as an organization affects many more people than that. And so it's important also to include that as part of your mission statement. And then it explains what they do for them and how they do it differently. Core members don't just teach their students, they learn from them. At the end of 2 years, they use those lessons to choose their path forward. That's inspiring. Not only would it make you want to support the organization if you wanted to donate money, but it might inspire you to encourage somebody you know to be part of this program, or it might inspire you to be part of the program yourself. It's really a polarizing thing. You're in or you're out with this, and I think they've done a great job with their mission and vision statement. Boy Scouts of America, to prepare every single eligible youth in America to become a responsible participating citizen and leader who is guided by the Scout oath and law. Again, a very aspirational vision because they want every eligible youth to become a responsible participating citizen and leader who is then guided by oath and law. So they're going to keep going until they have everybody, which they might not get there. Vision are typically horizons that you may never get to, but it definitely gives a direction to the organization as to why they do what they're doing. The mission of the Boy Scouts of America is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout oath and law. Again, it's clear that they are targeting the Boy Scouts and young people, and how they do that is to instill them the values of the Boy Scouts to help them have moral and ethical choices. Very clear, very inspiring, and concise. Google. So if you're a tech company out there and you're looking, how do I create my mission statement and vision statement? So Google. To provide access to the world's information in one click. I would argue they've actually done this already, and they may update their vision statement. If you do follow technology, not too long ago, Google changed their overarching company strategy to be called Alphabet. Now, what Alphabet did is they broke up each individual area of investment and things that they were focusing on, because the mission statement for Google did not necessarily apply to everything. For example, Google Car or Google Drive. So self-driving cars as a mission does not fall under this vision. So which means that you need to either adapt your current vision to fit in with all of the things that you're doing, things like innovation, or you set up a different company with its own vision so that you can more easily accomplish what you're trying to do. And that's exactly what Google did. To organize the world's information and make it universally accessible and useful. And that's certainly what they're doing. That's their purpose. That's why Google exists. So again, very short, very concise, and inspiring. So moving on. TripAdvisor. To be the leader online travel research company. Should we see leading. To help people around the world plan and have the perfect trip. Simple, understandable, gets people inspired, And then this is how they do it. They offer advice for millions of travelers on a wide variety of travel choices. Very simple. I wouldn't call it necessarily too inspiring, but still understandable. Chicago Bulls, who don't have their vision here because their mission itself is concise enough. The Chicago Bulls organization is a sport entertainment company dedicated to winning NBA championships, growing new basketball fans, and providing superior entertainment, value, and service. So we talked about strategic priorities. They've included their strategic priorities as part of their mission statement. The strategic priorities are winning a championship, growing basketball fans, providing superior entertainment. Values and service are maybe an extra priority, but I think it falls under all of these things. If you do these three, then you will have value and service. We aim to achieve our mission by working hard to emphasize the following core values: mutual respect for each another's commitment to excellence, innovation, integrity, and quality in everything we do. Those last three things are pretty generic value statements. However, if inside the organization you see them embody that, then they're really living it. But anybody can say mutual respect and innovation and integrity. Those are great. They don't mean a lot of things when if you're just putting it on paper. But what really matters is, does the organization live those values all the time? All right. The Nature Conservancy, and that'll be the last one we go over today. Our vision is to leave a sustainable world for future generations. Inspiring? I think so. The mission of the Nature Conservancy is to conserve the lands and waters on which all life depends. Through the dedicated efforts of our diverse staff, including more than 600 scientists, all of whom impact conservation in 69 countries. With the help of our many partners, from individuals and governments to nonprofits and local corporations. So there's their customer and their stakeholders, by using a non-confrontational, collaborative approach and staying true to our 5 unique core values. So we have where they're going, they have how they do it, and they have a bit more about the values that they care about and who their core customer is. So if you can, in the best practices, including, so we'll just, in summary, be inspiring is part of your vision and your mission. Be concise, but not necessarily short. Again, there's some that you want to do internal to motivate your team, and you want to be as descriptive as possible. And some things you want to keep to yourself and share other things with other people. So you don't necessarily need to be short, but as you can see, all of the selections we put in here were concise. Revisit your mission and vision periodically, because things outside of your business will change, and you might get taken in a different direction with how you choose to operate your business and run your business. So I urge you to revisit your mission and vision as part of your strategic planning process, just to keep on top of everything. Communicate your mission and vision with your organization and stakeholders, as we mentioned, both internally and externally, and make it public, make it real. When you as an organization share your mission and vision, it makes it real, and you're making that commitment to people inside your organization and people outside your organization. These are customers, these are stakeholders, and these are supporters. Anybody who can get behind your organization, the more you can tell them about what you're doing, the more they are in a position to help you and to push your organization forward towards achieving its vision. So those are just some best practices, some sample. You can definitely go online and find endless amounts of mission and vision statements, but make sure that you take the inputs from your team and then get consensus on the vision. And if you don't have everybody on your team on the same vision, then it's also a thing to look at, is maybe move those people to a different organization, because you need to have everybody on your team aligned with your mission and vision, and creating an effective mission and vision statement are the first steps. So I hope that helps you create a mission and vision statement, and I really look forward to sharing with you in the next video. Take care.